Hi everybody, this is Sam Ritchie. On this video, I came across this as a photo that was posted on one of the Facebook groups, and it was from Frankie Knox Wilemon, who is out of, according to this, Horseshoe Bend near Dadeville, Alabama. And she posted this, and what appears to be a partially cloaked deer, and possibly even another deer that is completely cloaked next to it. So we're trying to make some sense of this photo, and I took an interest in it and eventually started looking at it a little bit more closely, and I did ask for her permission, so all thanks to her for allowing me to go ahead and do a video on this, on the pictures she has. She has 4 different photos. 2 of them show normal the deer's walking next to this tree you see on the right here, and where there is no disappearance or cloaking taking place. So I'm just using the term cloaking as a term to describe how it's masking part of the deer and completely the other deer that may be standing next to it. The only reason I say there's another deer because of the fact there's a couple of small ears that look like in the head next to it, and I'll pinpoint that with once I edit this video. So anyway, what I like to get into a little bit is when you take a look at the deer here, there are some things about it that are a little strange. First of all, at first when you take a look at it, it looks like possibly it's just a double exposure, and maybe the deer's just happen to be standing in one position and moved. However, it couldn't be because according to Frankie, this is actually a Nikon digital camera that's actually taking the picture, and it is also on autofocus. And so that's not likely to happen. If there was electronic distortion, or file corruption looks way different than something like this. Actually, what's amazing is the part of the deer's head is cloaked literally. It blends in so well with the background, and there's some interesting anomalies I'd like to share with you as we get into this picture. Well, here's a photo of the deer in another picture. That there's 2 pictures she has that actually shows the deer where there's no anomalies taking place. And if you look over to the right, you'll see the one small tree that actually has the branches going out horizontally. And then there's this plant, gum plant, I think she called it, or I forgot what she said in the notes here. But that's the only thing that's in front of us, just this very short bit of leaves. And the argument someone could make about the area that was covered up, or you know, what I termed as cloaked, was the fact, well, it's probably just weeds or something, where the deer just stuck its head down in the weeds, and that's why we can't see it, or the other deer. But according to her and according to this picture, if you look in the middle and around the area, especially where the deer in the middle is the approximate area where this took place, there are no tall weeds or anything. It's certainly not enough to actually cover up a deer that way or anything like that. So that's what's so perplexing about this, is because of the fact that you first of all get through the argument about what the usual explanations are. There isn't anything out there that's going to actually cover this deer up like that in that manner. Now on this other photo, in this case I went ahead and zoomed in on the part that's cloaked, and I will have to say one thing is, if this is in fact a cloaking, we can't really say that the deer is cloaking, because if there was if something was to cloak, the whole body would cloak. You wouldn't have anything that would partially cloak like this, and to my knowledge I don't think I've ever heard of that before. So we're really just kind of centering our focus on what is causing something is in front of this deer, and what is causing this to take place. It almost looks like it's actually, as I zoomed in here, that something is actually matching the background behind the deer, or actually reflecting what's in front of the deer. Now, if you can look in the middle, you can actually see underneath the, I'm going to call it translucence, that underneath that you can actually see the deer, the solid part of the deer, and you can see the top line of its back go down, straight down. If you see that dark area right in the middle, you actually see it going down. You can actually see its head and come back up underneath its neck area to its front legs. But underneath, and it looks like it's got some kind of translucent material that's in front of it like that. The other thing that's kind of weird is, let me show you this. Okay, I've actually circled this little area here, which actually shows a white type of solid, it looks like a solid object there. But what's kind of funny about it, it's kind of suspended in the air, you know, and it's actually in front of the deer's head. That's pretty, of anything of that whole translucence, this is probably the most solid thing I'm seeing here right there. And it doesn't go all the way down to the ground, so it's not necessarily sticking in the ground, but it's literally in front of the deer. Okay, now we got it zoomed in just a little bit further to see what that white column is, and boy, are we starting to see something strange right here. When I did this the first time and looked at it closer, I immediately identified what appears to be two faces. I'm going to go ahead and pull that in a little bit further and show you what I'm talking about. You can see it from here, but I just want to go ahead and zoom on it. Okay, here I got it circled. When I pulled it back a little bit so you could see it a little bit better. I circled the area that I'm talking about. It's right above what I considered the white column. And at the bottom, of course, I did a little bit of contrasting and highlighting so you can see that better. Let me pull that area up into the main picture. Okay, there we go. If I'll show some red outlining on that, but it appears to me to be some kind of humanoid, two humanoid creatures. One is very apparent, very stark in the middle, with very deep set eyes. The larger one, and then it looks like one's very close to it. Now I'm not saying these are in any way, shape, or form Sasquatches. I'm starting to think there's some other kind of beings or things. I've already covered something about an alien ET connection with that, or paranormal at this point. So how all this is all related to each other. But it's very apparent. I could actually see the nose on the one, the eyes on the one on the right. You see, that's what's in the column area, is this this other face or being. It could be a smaller one. It does look like it is smaller than the main one in the middle. It could actually be a smaller child juvenile that's actually wrapped in some kind of white blanket or some kind of material. It's hard to really say. And here, of course, is I'm showing the same picture. I'm just going to go ahead and show on this side comparison with showing where the outlines of where I'm actually seeing these facial features on both of the creatures. Okay, I'm going back to this other picture. I'm pulled in. Notice the angle at which the cloaking is taking place. It's almost like a 45-degree angle. Well, I'm sorry, not 45-degree, but a 90-degree angle. And it literally looks like it's even cutting off part of the back, as well as this, as if the deer is sticking its head inside of some kind of area that is just completely, almost like a field of some sort of energy that is a cloaked energy or something. So, you know, so the question is, are we talking about a creature that's cloaked in front of the deer, or are we talking about perhaps an area of anomaly that's causing this effect so that things are disappearing behind it? Well, it's one thing to have one picture where we actually see the cloaked anomaly, but then to actually have two separate pictures. Take a look at this. This is the other picture that she had of the deer. It could be the same deer or another deer, but it's a little bit further past the area where the original cloaked deer was showing up. take a look at the back hind, that would be its right leg. It has literally disappeared. Let me zoom in on that. Okay, as you can tell, even if the deer did move its leg or blurred, you would see something, but you see absolutely nothing there. I'll show the here it is circled, and it just doesn't go anywhere. In other words, even if the deer moved its leg, where is the rest of the leg? Okay, I placed two of the pictures side by side, the partially cloaked deer, and possibly even the deer that's completely cloaked in the middle, and that would be the picture on the right side. The deer with the missing or the cloaked leg, right leg, back leg, is on the left. I'm assuming that perhaps the picture on the left took place, it's the same deer and it moved forward, because as you notice there's the same tree in both instances in both pictures. What I have showed in yellow shows what's in common with the two pictures. One of the things I do when I analyze pictures, I look for landmarks. In this case would be the certain stones and patterns of stones or leaves on the ground. I identified 4 separate areas so I could get a placement exactly where the deer was standing with respects to both pictures. So if you notice that right in the area on the picture on the right where the deer is coming into the field area, and I'm just going to use that theory, that's when that starts. And at the picture on the left, you actually see the same area in yellow, and the deer is coming out of that field, and the back right leg is still stuck in that field. Also, a little bit of background about the pictures. One of the things that Frankie has mentioned is that in that particular area, which is off her porch, and she records a lot of different evokes, I think, what we call spirit voices from her porch, and she actually has a video of orbs with the deer as well, so in her possession, I'm sure, although all we have here is the pictures. And obviously there's other evidence there. It's a very squatchy place, and there's a lot of spirit activity as well. And as a matter of fact, this past summer she mentioned that she saw a couple of cloaked something running across the field area there. So anyway, so what do we got in conclusion? From what I can tell is that, first of all, it's not a picture defect. It's not obviously it's not a photoshopped. There's no reason to even suspect that, because of the fact of I can tell when I go into the picture, there's no pixelation differences from the rest of the photo in that particular cloaked area. And the other thing too, of course, is the fact that the way it's layered in there in front of the deer like that, and with the solid white column, and of course the faces, which is a dead giveaway that there's actually either a cloaked creature that has the ability to cloak around itself, or this is the body of the cloaked creature or creatures. 2, it could be a field of energy, where field of cloaked energy, where the creatures are also within that energy field as part of that. And the third option, of course, as someone mentioned, was the fact that we may be talking about some kind of vortex portal that's opening up right in that spot, and you're actually peering into something else, some other region, some other dimension, some other. I've seen things personally, so it's not beyond my thinking that this would actually take place as well. We do know of several portals. I've seen one here. I've seen Dr. Matt Johnson has the one down in his area in Oregon, and many witnesses have seen it. So anyway, that's all I have on this. I really wanted to get this up before I did the orb video that I was going to work on, because I thought this was an exciting find that was brought to our attention. And I did discover certain things when I was analyzing the pictures, and I wanted to get that to you, the subscribers and other viewers, and to get your take on that. So, and like I said, I'm not saying this is a Sasquatch, but I am saying that there is something there, and like I mentioned, either energy field, something that's cloaking there, some kind of humanoid creatures are evident there. So we'll just let you decide and take the information in and figure this out. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you the next time I post a video. Bye.